Hey guys, and welcome back again to another tutorial on my channel. This is Style with Chika, and in this one, I'm going to be showing you guys how I went about the making of this Ankara shirt I have on. It has side pockets and also an elastic band. So if this is something that you would love to learn how to make, keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on your post notification icon, and let's get started. For this project, I'll be needing 1.5 yard of my Ankara print fabric, and the Ankara print fabric that I have here is by length 45. So I'm starting off by folding this Ankara print fabric in two, and I'll be cutting out my front piece first. First off, I'm just going to draw a straight line at the starting point of this Ankara, and it's going to be my waistline. I'll take off 2 inches for my waistband by placing 2 inches on this line, and then I'll mark out my hip line and then my crotch line. Then I'll extend these points just like this. I'll place my tape the same way, and I'm going to mark out my full length of my short at 19 inches, and then I'll be adding an extra 2 inches for sewing allowance. I will also extend this point. On my hip line, I will divide my hip measurement by 4 and leave a mark at that point. I'll equally do the same thing to my crotch line, and then I'll mark out the same measurement on my waistline. After which, I'm just using a straight ruler to connect all the way. So my waistline, I'm coming down by 1 inch, and then I'll connect from that 1 inch to meet my starting line. I'll connect upward to give me a slope. On my crotch line, I'll divide my round thigh measurement by 2 and I'll mark that out. Then I'll make use of my ruler. I'll make use of the curve to connect into my crotch line from my hip point. I'll just make use of my free hand again to make these edges more defined. And after that, I'll connect to the base of the shirt, and then I will cut this out. After cutting it out, I'll open up the sides. So I'll be making use of my front to corner my back. I'll place it right on top of each other, making sure that I have space above before trimming out the base of the shirt. So guys, I didn't know that this part was not filming on the camera, but then on my crotch line here, I just added 2.5 inches, and on the base I added 2 inches. So at the waistline I added 2 inches also, and on the hip line 2 inches. So now I'm just extending my crotch line, and then I'm creating a new curve at the back piece. Just follow what I'm doing, and trust me, yours is going to turn out perfect. And then I also completed the base just the same way. I connected upward, and then from this point I'm coming up by 1 inch because of my bum. So if you have a bigger bum, you can go higher, and if you feel like you don't need this, you don't need to actually add anything. So you just connect just like you have seen me do, and then I am just going to cut this out. So after I cut this out, you see how the edge that wasn't film on the camera looks like, and this is what it looks like. So I'm dividing the side open. For my pockets here, I have it at 9 inches, and then I have the width as 14 inches. So I'm going to start by fixing it on my front piece. So I'll take one piece now, and I'll take one piece of my pocket. I'll place it right sides facing each other. Once I place the right sides facing each other, I will measure 7 inches down from my pocket opening. I'll leave a mark at that point, and then I'm just going to join this on half of an inch, just like you've seen me draw that line there. After joining it, you want to open it. Please, you guys, you notice that I have added another material here because this was a little bit short for me. So now I'm just leaving a notch at that 7 inches mark. And then after I open it up, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to fold it right like you can see me doing like this. Then I'm just going to sew at the base. I'll sew all round like this on half of an inch. After sewing, this is what it looks like, and then I'm just going to flip it to the other side. And this is basically how I close the base of my pocket. So as I close it up now, I'm just going to arrange this out. Because you've already notched this, it should be easy for the sides to align. This is what my pocket looks like. I'll go ahead and adjust this, and after I put it right in place, I will sew on the top to join my pocket to the main piece of my trouser. I've done this now, and I'm just going ahead to trim it out. So I did this to one side, and I've gone ahead to do it to the other side of the shorts too. This is what it looks like here. So once you do yours, just go ahead and sew on the crotch line. I did the same thing for the back also. This is what it looks like. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and join on the sides of this shirt. I'll be sewing this also on half of an inch. So I'll just make sure that I am not sewing on top of my pocket, okay? So now I'm just going to join a half an inch on this side, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side. So after sewing on it, this is what I had. I just went ahead to also fold in the edges of the shirt. Now I'm just going to close up the base of the shirt like this. I will try to make sure that the midpoints align with each other, and I'll join it on half of an inch. This is what I had after I had done that. I am going to work on my waistline. By measuring from one end to another, I want to get the measurement for my waistband. This was 22. Going to times that by 2, which gives me 44 inches. So this material here, I have cut it out by 45 instead of 44 inches, which is 1 inch extra for allowance, and it is 6 inches by width. So I'm just going to sew on this side to join it together. So for my elastic band now, I'm just going to cut it out as few inches lesser than my waist measurement and sew on it. This was what I had, so it's going to give my waist a grip. So for the material piece, it's 6 inches like you can see, and my elastic band is 2 inches. This is 6 inches, so it can be able to cover up my elastic band totally. So whatever elastic size you're using, just make sure you're picking one that can cover your elastic band. So to do this now, I'm just going to fold my material just like you can see me doing, and I'll place my elastic band right inside of it. And after placing right inside of it, from this point, I am already sewing on it. I'm going to be very careful not to sew on top of the elastic. So you just keep sewing and you keep going round and round. So when you get to a point that it feels like you need to adjust your material to have space to sew on, just keep adjusting your material into the elastic band. You would understand this better when you're sewing. Okay, so just make sure that you're adjusting the material into your elastic band. Keep sewing on the edge and joining this piece together. So after I did that, this is what it was looking like. You can see the way that I am adjusting the elastic band, okay? So just keep doing that till you get to the end of your fabric. Make sure not to sew on top of your elastic band. This is what I had, guys. So now you have to just stretch it out to make sure that the material spreads evenly over the elastic band. And from this point, I'm using office pins to hold it down because I want to top stitch. So it's a drag and sew method. So you just put at any point and then you drag the front and you drag the back of the elastic and then you begin to sew. This will stretch out the fabric and to stretch out the elastic so they can both be placed equally right on top of each other. This is what I had. Just go ahead and do this all around. So guys, this was what I had after I had sewn the elastic. Just take off your pin and then you want to join this elastic now to other part of your shirt. It is also going to be a drag and sew method so you do not end up gathering the elastic band to one point of the shirt. And after I did this was how I ended the making of this shirt. I hope you do like this tutorial. I'll see you in my next one.